Hi there, welcome to Two Birds. I'm Fiona, and today's class is a 60-minute mellow restorative flow for those days when you just need to take it easy. Some really calm, peaceful movement, breath awareness paired with some supported postures. And all you'll need for practice is a blanket and perhaps a yoga block. But if you don't have a yoga block at home, you can substitute it for a large book and your blanket. I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for joining. Namaste. And begin your practice laying down on your back in shavasana, extending the legs out and taking your feet a little wider than your hips, letting your feet fall out to the sides and laying your arms by your side, palms face up. And just arrange yourself so you feel symmetrical either side of your spine, smoothing out across your shoulder blades and through the back of the hips. And just for the next few minutes, simply relax and settle in. Take a few cleansing breaths, perhaps even sighing the breath out of your mouth. And gently closing down the eyes and allowing your body to become still and quiet. And in this stillness, this quietude, simply observe the quality and texture of your natural breath, breathing in, breathing out. Now sense your physical body, your footprint on the mat. Now notice the feeling tone of your energy. Specifically sensing any places in your body where you may feel really open and spacious, where your energy feels clear. And also just taking note of any places where you might feel congested or dull in yourself. And one of the ways we can control and contain and expand our energy is through our breath. Our breath, the way we breathe, has the capacity to significantly change how we feel, more than the body or the mind itself. So beyond practicing mindful awareness of your body, we can use our breath to increase our vital energy, to revitalize us, and to create steadiness. And by learning how to move our energy, our life force, and just regulating our breathing, we have direct access to reset our nervous system and our state of mind. And now more than ever, the benefits of mindful breathing can be so helpful in facilitating this process, creating more energy, a stronger body, a peaceful mind. So we're going to start our practice here with a pranayama technique called samavriti, which translates as equal or same. It's a steady inhalation and exhalation of equal duration. And this has a fairly neutralizing effect on our nervous system. So it's very calming. So now with your full attention, simply start to count your breath, breathing in for the count of 4, then gently turn to your exhale, breathing out for the count of 4. Noticing the transition between your inhale and your exhale, and just inviting your breath to move gently and quietly. And as you continue to breathe this balanced breath, you're feeding your body, you're boosting your circulation and increasing the nourishing levels of oxygen in your body. And take 5 more full cycles of breath. And keeping your eyes closed, go ahead, bend the knees and slowly gather the knees in toward your chest. Just pause and linger here, press and release your lumbar spine into the mat. And then gently roll out to your right side and take your unhurried time to find a comfortable cross-legged seat. So you can sit here on the edge of a blanket or a cushion, and providing a little bit of elevation underneath your seat so you can sit tall, spine extended, hips and legs can relax. And once you're comfortable, gently blink the eyes open if you haven't already, taking your fingertips down by your side. We'll just start with some gentle movement coordinated with our breath. As you breathe in, reach the arms up and overhead. Send the gaze up to the tip of your thumbs. And then just turn the palms out, spread your fingers. Breathing out, lowering the arms to the floor. Moving at the pace of your slowest breath, arms rise overhead. And as you exhale, stretch out, fingertip to fingertip, lower the arms, perhaps dropping the chin in toward your chest. Breathing in, arms rise, gaze goes up. And as you breathe out, lower the arms. Breathing in, reaching the arms. And take your arms shoulder width apart, and then take your right forearm over the top of your head to your left ear. And then really gently encourage your right ear over to your right shoulder, stretching out through the left side of your neck. You can close your eyes again, you can gently roll the chin down and up, just finding that perfect stretch for the left side of your neck. And see if you can make a little bit more space between your right earlobe and your shoulder. Notice the sensation of the stretch down the left side of the neck. The left hand can slowly touch down toward the floor. And when you arrive, take a lateral stretch, keep the gaze down toward your left hand, slide it away. Go ahead, reach your right arm overhead, straightening out through your elbow, reaching to the edge of your fingers, lengthening through the right side of your waist. As you breathe in, reach both arms up, shoulder width apart, and then just switch sides. Taking your left forearm over your head to your right ear, and guide your left ear down toward your left shoulder, stretching out through the right side now. And just rolling very gently through the chin, toward the chest. And slowly lower your right hand down to the floor, just gazing down. And when you land down, slide the right fingertips away. Reach out through your left side body, left arm overhead toward your right. Keeping your body on that lateral plane, belly button pointing out. Reach out, find a sustainable breath, even and regular. And then as you breathe in, reach your arms back overhead, interlace all your fingers, turn the palms face up and lengthen all the way through the sides of the waist to the edge of your wrists, and then take the hands behind the back of your skull. Just gently bowing your chin in toward your chest, closing the elbows in toward each other. And just notice here that subtle difference to the sensations you may feel as you lengthen now the ligaments down the back of your neck. Just simply pause and breathe. Breathing all the way up toward your face, all the way down to the belly, even, smooth breath. And as you breathe in, lifting your gaze, extending your arms out wide now to the side, and then go ahead, take your right arm across your body, across your chest, and then hook your left elbow to the outside of your right elbow to hold it in place. And play around with feeling for a stretch, traveling now into your upper right shoulder. Pause and breathe generously, mindfully regulating your in and out breaths evenly. Melting the shoulders away from your ears. And as you inhale, take the arms out wide. And as you exhale, switch. And then just taking in all the sensations you can feel, and also noticing the symmetries, asymmetries of your body, how you feel here to the opposite side. And then gently release, extend your arms out in front of you now, straightening through the elbows, palms face up, and curl your thumbs in toward the center of your palms and make a fist, curling the fingers over your thumbs, rotating the hands down for wrist mohans. And just simply with your hands shoulder width apart there, simply start to circle your fists away from one another, encouraging your full range of motion in your wrists. And try and keep your gaze fixed on both hands. So you're just paying attention to which side you have more control of, and try to balance that movement on both sides. And then circle back in the opposite direction now, keeping your breath consistent and smooth. And coming back to center and shifting forward now onto all fours. And set the hands up underneath the shoulders and knees, underneath your hips, hip distance apart. Spreading all the fingers, and just start to move through some very gentle cat and cow, undulating through the spine, arcing the spine, softening the belly, gazing up, and rounding the spine, spreading the shoulder blades, hugging in and up through the belly. So just start to sneak your way into this movement. So it's incrementally becoming more exaggerated, and perhaps noticing the warmth in your wrists, your upper body. And just moving at the pace of your slowest breath. So you can stay with this linear movement or start to circle the hips, leaning out into the side ribs, the side of your hips, hovering over your buttocks, and just let your head and neck relax as you move. And keeping all your movement really gentle and nourishing. And circle back in the opposite direction. And making your way back to center. Walking your hands forward just a hand distance, keeping them shoulder width apart. Pressing down through all the knuckles of your fingers, preparing for downward dog. Gently tucking the toes and lifting your sit bones. And working toward establishing your perfect stride between your hands and your feet by just slowly pedaling out through the heels until you find that V shape through your body, your spine elongating. As your arms reach forward and your sit bones lift, let your breath and the shape you've created lengthen the whole back of your body. And your breath moving in and up from your navel to the crown of your head. And your breath emptying from your hips all the way down to your heels. Take 3 more balanced breaths here. And then a little soft bend in your knees, gaze forward. And then walk yourself lightly to the top edge of your mat. And setting your feet up hip distance apart, slightly angling your heels out. Deep bend in the knees. And an easy forward fold over your legs. So allow your torso to touch your thighs, and you can either cross and hold your elbows here or let your arms dangle. And just as you did in downward dog, just gently rock your weight back to your heels, lifting, spreading the toes, rocking forward, lifting the sit bones. And really with all your movements, all your adjustments, moving gently, taking care as you move, taking in all the feedback from your body. And releasing the hands to the floor, hang in ragdoll, really deep bend in the knees there. Slowly roll up, take your time. Unravel, stacking each of the vertebrae, reach the arms up overhead, gaze up. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. 3 half forward folds here, just moving really slow. Arms overhead, gaze up. Slow fold over the legs as you breathe out. Gentle bend in the knees, drop your head. As you breathe in, slide the hands up to your shins. As you breathe out, fold in. Pushing down through your feet, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Twice more, just like that. Your arms circle overhead, top of the inhale, your palms touch. Bottom of the exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting, extending through your spine. Exhale, refolding over the legs. Rise to stand, firm belly, flat back, eyes up. Exhale, settle the hands to your heart. Last round, arms overhead, breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, opening, lifting. Exhale, fold back in. Rise to stand on your in-breath. Hands to your heart on your out-breath. Bringing your toes to touch at the top edge of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. And go ahead, step your right foot out and face the long edge of your mat for temple pose. So turning your heels in, your toes out, so you've got 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock with your feet. Gently bend the knees, take your hands to your thighs or your knees there. And here just allow your shoulders to shrug up toward your earlobes. And gently rock side to side, transferring your weight left to the right side. Guiding your knees toward the little toe sides of your feet. And try and stay in that space of gentleness and ease in your body, so there's no over effort. The breath is just moving steady. And then come back to center and drop your right shoulder forward, torso forward, and just slowly turn your gaze up over the left shoulder. And then switch. Eyes roll down, then up over the right shoulder as the left shoulder comes forward. Inner groin stretching toward your knees, and just move side to side. And then make your way back to center and straighten your legs here. And now turn and face the back of your mat, walking your right foot over into the right lane to set up the pyramid pose. Reaching the arms up overhead. As you exhale, take your hands either to your hips or behind your back, catch opposite forearms or elbows. And then from here, draw your left hip forward. So you just feel like your hips are level to the top edge of your mat. Both legs are straight and strong without tensing. Take a deep breath in, lift your sternum up. And as you breathe out, fold forward halfway there. So you come to position your torso parallel with the floor. Extend the crown of your head forward. So your spine's lengthening toward the back of your skull. Low belly's hugging in, just supporting you around the center of your body. Right big toe and inner heel pushing into the mat just to hold you steady. And then just see if you can find that comfortable breath. Notice if your fingers are tense and if you can relax there. Notice if you can draw your shoulder blades a little closer in toward the midline of your back. Just spread and expand across your chest. And pushing down through your right foot as you breathe in, come all the way up. And then again, turn toward the long edge of your mat. Turning your heels out, your toes in for Prasarita Padottanasana, spread leg forward fold. You can take your hands to your hips, any arrangement here. You perhaps like to interlace your fingers behind your back. Take a deep breath in, open up through your chest, lifting your sternum. And as you breathe out, forward fold between your legs. And try think about not making this your deepest forward fold. Making it comfortable and easy in your body. So just encouraging ourselves to move easy, so that is our experience in our body, in our muscles, and the deeper layers of ourselves. If your hands are hanging loosely, just place them on your legs or perhaps to the floor. And a light engagement through the legs. Press of the feet into the floor, lightly tipping forward, feeling your sit bones lift and spread. And your same steady breath. If your hands are loose there, taking them to your hips, elbows pointing back. As you breathe in, come all the way back up. Turn to face the front of your mat now, and your left foot will walk over into the left lane, right foot in the right lane, so your feet are hips distance apart. Hips are square to the front edge of your mat. Any arrangement with your arms, you might like to take reverse prayer or catch your forearms behind you. Something that's going to open and encourage your chest to lift. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. So you're folding forward over the midline of your left leg here. So the belly button revolves a little to your left. Left big toe and inner heel pressing into the mat. So you're just holding your balance, particularly if your arms are behind your back. And then relaxing your jaw, even the expression in your face. Breathing smooth. Gently lengthening through the back of your left hamstrings, your calves. Anchoring into your back foot. And then from here, simply release your hands down to the floor. And we'll transition to downward facing dog, planting the hands, stepping back quietly, gently. And take a gentle pedal out through your heels. Just here to transition. And then as you feel yourself breathe out, taking the knees to the floor and placing them quite wide to set up for child's pose. Balasana, knees out wide, big toes to touch. And just landing. Torso can arrive between your thighs. Forearms can rest on the floor. Or you might like to press your palms and take your hands to the nape of your neck. And just walking forward with the elbows to lengthen the muscles down the back of your arms. If your head's quite away from the floor, you can stack your fists. Try and rest the space in between your eyebrows into something. So you really feel like you can let go of all your effort. And just pause and linger here. Notice how your breath naturally moves into the back of your body now. Feeling the movement of your ribs as you breathe. Feeling the back and front of your neck relax, your shoulders soften. And the next series of postures are more yin style, focusing on gently lengthening the connective tissue that supports our joints. And oftentimes when we feel tight in our bodies and perhaps lacking vitality, it's not only the muscles, but that tension, that congestion is often present in our connective tissue, affecting and potentially blocking the natural flow of our energy. So as you approach these postures, as you adjust, as you move, as you breathe, do it with a quality of presence and also gentleness that cares for your body. So if you move harshly or you force yourself, that will often be your experience in your body. That same quality will be magnified So just think about moving with ease to create ease. And just taking 2 more smooth breaths. And then gliding up onto all fours. Press back, downward facing dog. And our next posture is pigeon pose, which is a lovely deep hip stretch, and we're going to stay in the posture for a few minutes on each side, and perhaps consider supporting your right hip here as we move into the first side with a blanket. Alternatively, if you have sensitive knees or difficult knees, you can move onto your back to take a hip groin stretch. So just grabbing your prop now, and when you're ready, taking your right knee to the back of your right hand. So your right knee lands on a diagonal, your right heel in toward your pelvis, or a little bit more parallel with the front edge of your mat. So just find that perfect spot in your body where you've got a comfortable external rotation through your right inner thigh. Your knee feels supported by flexing your right toes. And your hip points, the headlights of your hips are pointing forward. Left hip rolling down, left leg straight behind you. If you have air underneath your right buttocks here, just slide that blanket at the appropriate height underneath your buttocks. You want to feel supported here. And then just very incrementally sneak your way into a deeper stretch, perhaps coming down onto your fingers and then your forearms. Maybe stacking your fists. Again, quite important to rest the head. So if you can, find a support or make your way to the floor to really earth that space between the eyebrows. That's very helpful here. And then just settle in. And just by holding this deep hip stretch, we can allow the muscles that surround your hip joint to gently relax and the connective tissue to safely stretch. And that safe stretch responds well to a slow, steady load. So you're allowing the tissues to lengthen and strengthen, so you can feel more range of motion in your hip joint, and you feel kind of less shrink wrapped and congested there. And simply balancing and infusing your yoga practice with these more yin style postures, the ones that target the connective tissues in your body, will not only help give you more range of motion in your joints, but it will gently stimulate the flow of energy through the tissues, supporting more friction-free movement, also vitality and well-being. So just gently breathing, adjusting subtly if you need to. and fully absorbing your attention in your breath, in your body, sensations. And then as you breathe in, just take a little time to prop yourself up. Take the next few moments to transition back through downward dog. And letting the back of your knees breathe by gently pedaling out through your heels. And when you feel ready, shifting over to your left side now. Left knee to the back of your left hand. And just really placing yourself mindfully. Notice the position of your hips, how comfortable you feel in your low back, whether you would feel more supported with a blanket underneath your left buttocks, or perhaps a support underneath for your head to rest. And then just very incrementally making your way into a deeper version of this shape with each breath. And in order to access that deeper style connective tissue stretch, we need to be able to relax our muscles. So just noticing if there are any adjustments that you could make here to allow and invite your body to relax more. And sometimes just imagining your breath moving in and around your hips, as if the breath were creating space in the interior area of your hips that can help. And just by focusing your attention in this area can often help. So often we feel and experience tightness in this area of our body, and that tightness can be quite obvious but also can be unconscious. So it's not until we attempt these poses that we realize perhaps we are holding tension here. So for the next few minutes, just settle into your breath. Linger and adjust if you need to. Make sure you feel comfortable and supported. And if your mind has wandered, just land back in your body, fully present, fully inhabiting your body. Letting go of any restraint across the shoulders, the jaw. I'm just taking the next few moments to reverse, rewind from this side. And taking your hands down and stepping back to downward facing dog to recalibrate and reset. And feeling any warmth that's gathered there around the back of your knee, back of the leg, outer hip. And then from here, knees to the floor, taking your feet around in front of you. And before you recline, make sure you have your block with you or a book and your blanket as well. Maybe an extra layer if you're cooling down. Anything that you might need. And then lay down on your back and tuck the knees in toward your chest. So from here we're going to come into a supported bridge pose with a block or your book. And this just allows your spine to experience the feeling of extension while being gently supported. So do take the block maybe on its flat side. The book will only have one side. And taking it underneath to place it underneath your sacrum. So not on your low back, just on that bony part at the top of the buttocks. And if you need extra support, I like to put a blanket over the top of the block. Gives a little bit more elevation, but also kind of nice soft edges as well. So you're placing your feet hip distance apart, you're slightly angling your heels out, your big toes come a little pigeon-toed. And then you find that place for the block, comfortable place for your shoulders and the back of your head. Arms can lay alongside your body. If you want something that's a bit more expansive, you can take your arms overhead, either cactus the arms or hold your opposite elbows over the head. And oftentimes it just takes a few moments, maybe even a minute, to really relax your body weight down into the support of the block. So really focus your attention there into your back body, into your spine, and try and imagine the muscles stemming out from either side of the spine, gently relaxing and letting go. And as you do that, you might find that your spine ends up feeling just that little bit longer, and you might need to adjust the back of your skull up a little so you have a little bit more room. You might find that you need to walk your feet away a little bit further or closer in. And once you're completely comfortable, turn your attention to the front of your body and just simply watch and notice your breath, making sure your shape feels like it's supporting a deep breath, a comfortable breath, a feeling of ease in your body. And this shape that we're making here with our body is a nice antidote for all the hunching and poor posture that we put our bodies throughout the day. So we are aiming to simply open the chest, allow our lungs their full capacity to expand and receive our breath. And also keeping our spine agile, mobile. So you might like to stay here, but you also might like to change shape. Two options here. You can take your legs up toward the ceiling with the support of the block or the blanket here, and you can keep a little soft bend in your knees as you reach your heels up. And this posture, legs up, is very helpful for reversing the blood flow in your body. It also helps to drain the lymphatic fluid through your body, which is closely associated with boosting your immunity. An alternative here is that you could potentially lengthen both legs out straight over the block, and that has a different benefit of lengthening out through the front of the hip flexors. So if you do a lot of sitting, that is a nice counterpose to that kind of posture. Your feet could come a little wider than your hips there, and you can let your feet fall out totally relaxed. Just stay really gentle in your body and find that perfect shape where you don't feel like you're creating tension, you're moving away from that feeling. And we're just here for another minute, staying with your breath. And if you had your legs up here, just bending the knees, taking your feet to the floor. If you had your legs extended, feet to the floor. And we're going to exit really slowly. Just take your hand around and remove the support you had underneath you. And then very slowly, part by part, peel down through your spine until you touch down lightly through the low back. You can walk your feet away from one another and then lightly knock the knees in toward each other and just pause. And letting your spine reset, finding its natural C curve down through the low back, a little trough. And then just slide your arms out nice and wide here, palms face down. And with your feet wide here, just separate the knees, and we'll just move the knees over to your left side, windshield wipering the legs in a nice gentle twist. We'll release the hips and the low back. And then wipe the knees over to your right. Just booging the feet as you go so they feel comfortable. And then just go side to side with your own breath at your own pace, your own rhythm. And then make your way back to center and bring the knees in toward your chest. And with your knees in, just hug them in there. Just roll on the back of your head, release out through your neck, top of your spine. Just turning your gaze to the left and to the right. And then bring the feet to the floor. And we'll set up for Supta Baddha Konasana. Now, ideally, it's my favorite to roll up a blanket like a sausage and use that as support in this posture. It's not necessary or essential that you do that, but it is really nice. I highly recommend it. So if you have a blanket there, roll it up. And you're going to take the blanket over the arches of your feet as you press the soles of your feet together. Your knees splay out wide. And the blanket comes around to support your outer thighs and outer hips, depending on how long your blanket is. And then bring your heels quite close in toward your pelvis as you lay back. And align your spine so it's in one straight line. Pelvis over or underneath the crown of your head. Smooth out through your low back and find your own spine's natural curvature. So no exaggerated arches anywhere in your spine. And then if it still feels like you need more support, take your heels away from your pelvis or prop yourself a little bit further around the side of the thighs. And then allow yourself to simply relax and sink your body's weight into the support beneath you. And you can close your eyes here and just allow the eyeballs to drop away from your eyelids. And as you breathe out, feel a wave of relaxation from the crown of your head all the way down your body. Making any final adjustments to your posture. So you can linger here for the next few minutes. And savor that feeling of surrender. And for the next few rounds of breath, until you feel fully supported and relaxed, simply breathe in for the count of 4 and breathe out a longer breath. That may mean that you can breathe out for the count of 8, or it might be shorter, it might be longer. Just extending your out breath. Maybe even pausing at the end of your out breath will encourage your nervous system to relax. And you're also retaining the carbon dioxide in your body's natural sedative. So it is extremely relaxing, very calming. To breathe out deeply and just notice the side effect in your own body, your own experience. And then allow your breath to return to its natural state, no effort. And accompanying the shape that you've made with your body with your full attention. Noticing the quality of your breath, the quality of relaxation, the quality of your mind, your thoughts. And if you feel completely comfortable here, feel free to stay in this shape. Otherwise, very quietly, without disrupting your peaceful state, extending your body out into shavasana from here. Try not to fuss with your body or the blanket, just stretching the legs out and placing your arms alongside your body, palms face up. And then very, very slowly start to breathe a deeper breath. And then see your breath moving through your whole body, from your toes all the way up to the crown of your head, filling the interior space of your body, breathing up and outwards to the edge of your body, feeling its energizing, revitalizing side effects, waking you up. And then bringing a little bit of movement to your body. And then taking your time, that same unhurried approach, bending the knees, feet to the floor, and And gently rolling over to your right side. And just taking a little moment to notice how you feel at the end of your practice. And blinking the eyes open, welcoming in the light in your room. And then just slowly dragging yourself all the way back up to sit. Namaste, yogis.